Captain S, as he was known, wasted no time as he stood up to address the expectant circle of commanding officers. You will all know that the situation in North Africa has now reached a critical stage. While our armies under Generals Alexander and Montgomery are building up their striking power, Rommel has got to make up his mind whether to attack now or never. Through my bush telegraph, it seems certain that Rommel intends to attack soon. He is massing in strength south of Mersa Matruh, and has demanded all the ammunition and petrol he can get, and naturally the enemy are doing everything in their power to deliver the goods. In 4 days' time, I expect that the Italian battle fleet may venture out from its main ports to give full support to their convoys for Benghazi. As you all know from experience, they are sending all they can down the usual routes, from Naples to Tunis, and thence by the inshore route to Benghazi. These are the convoys you have been attacking during the last 6 weeks, but in 4 days' time we may expect the works. Captain S paused and cleared his throat.
"Does General Montgomery know on which flank Rommel is likely to attack, sir?"
Joe Croxton interrupted. "No, Joe, but he'd give his right arm to know." They all laughed, and S moved nearer to the wall map, his pointer tapping against the outlines of Italy and Sicily. Then he called out the names of 4 officers. "You 4 will form an iron ring off your old friend Cape St. Vito. The Spezia fleet must pass round there if it is to do any good." The 4 officers nodded. "You 3, Harry Arkwright, Bill Hopkins, and Jeff Scatchard, will form a ring round Taranto, here," and he tapped the heel of Italy. His eyes twinkled as he looked at Joe Croxton, who was now looking distinctly worried. "Yes, all right, Joe, I haven't forgotten you," he laughed. "But you have got a new first lieutenant for this patrol, haven't you?"
"Yes, sir. Sinclair. John Easton flew home last week for his perisher."
"How do you think Sinclair will cope?"
"All right, sir, I hope."
Sympathetic laughter from the others brought a smile once more to Joe Croxton's raw-boned face. "Well," continued S, "I'm giving you a train bombardment job to give you and Sinclair a chance to settle down." Joe Croxton groaned.
"You know how I loathe the gun, sir."
"Yes, Joe, but Sinclair has had plenty of practice, if I remember rightly."
"You win, sir," laughed Joe. "But where do I make the Italian trains run late?"
"Here, between Cape Spartivento and the Bay of Squillace," and the pointer once more tapped the map. "You have freedom of action here. Harry Arkwright stopped the Rome Express on the west coast 10 days ago. That line is still blocked, so the WAP is forced to use this mainline route down the south coast."
"Aye, aye, sir. Any restrictions?"
"No, Joe, you may fire at anything you sight, but you must stop and block the railway line first. The enemy are pouring ammunition down it to Reggio."
"I see, sir."
"Any questions?" Captain S asked while he glanced round his captains. There was no reply. "Well, that's all, gentlemen, and I wish I was coming with you."
"You've had your go, sir,"
laughed Harry Arkwright, and the conference broke up as each officer took his leave. "You sail tonight at half-hourly intervals. Good luck, and good hunting."
"Thank you, sir."
But Captain S had turned his back and was already engrossed in further planning. It was 11 o'clock when Joe Croxton returned to the submarine base at Lazzaretto on Manuel Island. He wandered down to the bobbing pontoon which ran out to his submarine. Men were still securing her head and stern wires to the buoys, for she had just returned from Torpedo Creek, where she had embarked her full outfit of torpedoes and gun ammunition. Joe watched the spare figure which leant over the side of the bridge to direct operations. It was his new First Lieutenant, Peter Sinclair, recently promoted lieutenant, and his voice floated calmly across the gap of water, a voice of quiet and unassuming authority. Joe Croxton smiled to himself. It already seemed a long time since he had asked for Sinclair to relieve John Easton, whom he had recommended for a commanding officer's qualifying course. Easton had been a good number 1, and they had seen much action together.